Welcome to our ICUsteps Chester exercise video. All references by our trainers to ICUsteps or ICU relate to our ICUsteps Chester group. If you would like to join us or have any questions, you will find all of our contact details at the end of the video.
Okay, hello everybody. Thanks for coming to watch the ICU strength session. Today, my name's Gareth, and today I'm just going to go through a range of exercises that are going to help improve the upper body, lung efficiency, mobility, flexibility, and we do some strength exercises for the legs. So these are the exercises we typically do in the weekly class. So if you've already attended one of the classes and you miss a class from week to week, you can always use this video as a refresher, and you can do it on your own at home. If you're new to the class, just work at your own ability. So if you've got any shoulder injuries or anything like that, or you feel you need to, if you've got any shoulder injuries, I'll give you some modifications for the exercises. And if you've got a condition that makes you fatigue during any of the exercises, then you just stop and have a rest. You basically work to your own ability. So this class suits all levels. So I'm going to start with the exercises today. And the first exercise we're going to start with is breathing exercises. So all we're going to do, we're going to put the hands underneath the breastbones onto the rib cage. Sitting in the seat, you can either sit back in the seat rested, or you can sit on the edge of the seat in a nice upright position. So palms underneath the breastbones. We're going to take a big deep breath in, expand the rib cage, and then we're going to breathe out. So you can either close your eyes, or you can keep your eyes open. You breathe in deep, and then you breathe out. Okay, so you go from a nice elevated position where you breathe in, you expand the rib cage, and into a depressed position as you breathe out. But like I say, you can sit back into the seat if you want. Inhale deep, and then exhale. So just warming up the breathing muscles, if you like. We're just getting you into that exercise zone. So breathe in deep, expand the rib cage, and we breathe out. Okay, then sitting in a upright position, so don't slouch like this. Draw the shoulder blades back, keep the head up, and we're just going to go into some neck mobility. So we call these half moons, they're just half circles. So we breathe in deep, keeping that upright position with the shoulders, and we breathe out as we rotate the head. Don't get overstressed on when you do the breathing, but make sure that the breathing doesn't have to be in perfect sync with the movement, but make it consistent. So an example, breathe in deep, and then breathe out. Inhale, exhale. So you want that free flowing movement. And it's really good for mobilizing the neck. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Okay, then we're going to take the head to center. So in a nice center position, and we're just going to tilt the head side to side. So you notice there, I'm not rocking forwards, I'm not rocking side to side with the body. Nice and upright, I breathe in, I breathe out. So just imagining taking the ear to the shoulder. Breathe in, breathe out. Just side to side. Nice stretch for the neck as well. And then head back to center, arms down by the side, take a big deep breath in, breathe out, and we take the arms up and over. So like I said, if you've got any sort of injury to the shoulder, or just restricted movement, you can just come to shoulder height. You can breathe in deep to start the movement, breathe out to the side, or you can come to the front like this. Big deep breath in, breathe out. So if you've got no restrictions there, you can do the full action. Otherwise, you just go to your range of motion, okay? That's a big deep breath, breathe out. Inhale on the way down, exhale on the way up, or we can come to there. Now, holding the arms out to the side, or again, you can do this action. We're going to rotate in the chair, side to side. You can do this standing up as well. So from a standing position, it would look like this. I always recommend turning to, if you look at my foot, when I rotate to the right, I lift the left foot and vice versa. That just helps support the knee, gives the knee a bit of help from the ankle and the hip joint. So you're not putting any pressure on the knee, basically. So focus on that breathing, breathe in, breathe out, and we rotate through the midsection of the torso, okay? Okay, so I'll work about 10 repetitions, and then what we're gonna do, we're gonna sit back into the seats. Okay, the next mobility exercise is here. So the front, both arms to the front, so you're working from the shoulder, big deep breath in, breathe out, and again, any limitations in range, we can just go to shoulder height, or you can do this exercise instead. There's always an alternative. So if you've got no restrictions, we go up nice and high. Otherwise, we just come to, if you have, you just come to shoulder height. So they're the general mobility exercises that we're going to do. We're going to move on to the first strengthening exercise today. Okay, so we're going to do a shoulder press. Now you don't have to use weights. If you've not got any weights, you can use water bottles, tins of beans, or you can literally just imagine you've got weights. It all depends on where you are. Again, to what ability you're working from. So I've got some weights there. So I'm just going to demonstrate the weights so you can do this exercise with me. So grab the weight, or like I say, if you've not got weights, just imagine you have, or tins of beans or bottles of water. It's an internal grip, meaning the palms are facing the ears rather than an external grip. We're going to go internal there. Elbow joint lined up to the shoulder. Elbow joint lined up to the wrist. Big deep breath in, breathe out. I'm going to push the weights above the head. So we breathe in on the way down. Breathe out on the way up. Inhale on the way down. Exhale on the way up. You notice there, the back's nice and straight. Coming down slow, and then I'm pressing above the head. Inhale. Exhale. And if you want to imagine you've got weights, you're there. Or like I say, you might have inhale, exhale, might have tins of beans or bottles of water. And we're going to work at a repetition range today of 10 repetitions. So we breathe in on the way down, and we breathe out on the way up. So if you've been following my instructions, you'd have done in between 10 and 15 repetitions by now. So we're just going to relax. You can keep hold of the weights if you're using weights. If you're not, just sit in this position. And we're just going to loosen the neck. I always like to do a few release exercises in between the resistance exercises, just to loosen the muscles back up. Okay, next exercise, we're actually going on to the legs. So seated position, basically into standing position. So I'm going to show you from the front and from the side, and I'll show you how to do the exercise with and without weights. So hip joints lined up to the knee, feet nice and solid, shoulders back, heads up, big deep breath in, you push up through the heels, but as we sit, rather than just sitting back into the chair like this, where we're losing the resistance of the muscles, you want to keep the resistance on the muscles as we're sitting into the chair. So big deep breath in, breathe out, push, using the power to stand, but then you're really using that muscular strength on the lowering phase of the exercise. So we're not just sitting into the chair. We breathe in on the way down, and we breathe out on the way up. And really, you want a minimum of 10 repetitions with these exercises. You can do more if you want. You need to take a rest at any time, do that. If you're using your weights, You can either have your weights there, which would be like this. Breathe in on the way down. So you just carry on performing the repetitions, whether you're using weights or not, whilst I'm demonstrating. Or you can have the weights. It's like I say, if you've got restricted movements or you're getting tension in the shoulders or neck, you might not have anything wrong with the shoulder, but you might find that position too uncomfortable. You just keep the weights down by your side. Big deep breath in, breathe out, push up, and control nice and slow into the chair. You can use different tempos. You can use a 1 second tempo on the way up, a 2 second tempo on the way down, or a 1 to 3, 1 to 4. From a side position, we'll just change the angle of the chair, which is there. This is what it looks like from the side if I'm doing it without the weights. And you can have your arms crossed or down by your side, whatever you want. Get your hip joints lined up to your knees. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in on the way down. Breathe out on the way up. And if I'm going to use the weights, I can take the weights here and breathe in on the way down, out on the way up. Or I can hold them down to the side. You know, and if you're continuing with the repetitions, if you've been continuing with the repetitions whilst I've been demonstrating, then you would have done around the 20 repetition range. If you feel you want to do a few more repetitions, that's fine. If you feel you need to take a rest before you reach 10, that's fine as well. You work at your own pace, and that is exactly what we do in the class as well. So we're actually going back onto the upper body now. So this is a posture exercise where we're going to use the muscles on the front of the arm, the shoulders, and the back. Okay, this is called a row. So I'm going to show you without a weight first. If you're using tins of beans or bottles of water, that's great. So you sit in a nice upright position, draw the shoulder blades back. So when I mean that, this is the action I mean when I'm talking about drawing the shoulder blades back. If I put my arm like this, my shoulders in what we call a protracted position. If I draw the shoulder blades back, that's called a retracted position. So you're putting a good way to explain it is you're drawing the shoulder blades and placing them into the back pockets. So think about that quote, shoulder blades back into the back pockets, yeah? So by doing that before you start the row, so I'm going to show you without the weights first, you're engaging the upper back muscles and you're putting the shoulders into the correct position. So nice long spine, big deep breath in as we push the arms forwards. You can imagine grabbing onto something, and by there, I'm not just pulling with my arms, I'm thinking about the upper back muscles. I'm pulling with the back muscles, and I'm squeezing the shoulder blades together at the end of the move. So imagine trapping a pencil in between the shoulder blades. Draw your shoulder blades back, big deep breath in, breathe out, pull, and squeeze the shoulder blades together there at the end of the move. Think of a 2 second tempo on the way forward, and 1 second tempo on the way back with the squeeze of the shoulder blades. If we're doing it with the weights, draw the shoulder blades back, big deep breath in, breathe out, squeeze the shoulder blades together there. And just as I'm demonstrating, just continue with, don't feel like you have to stop when I stop, because obviously I'm stopping to change the angles, show you the angles from different positions. So just continue with the row whilst I'm talking and explaining. If you need to stop, just stop, that's fine. This one's here from a side position, so without the weight. So I've actually gone to the knees now on the floor, which is fine. You can do that as well if you want, or you can stay on the chair. With a big deep breath in. So draw the shoulder blades back, activate the postural muscles. Breathe out with pulling with the back muscles, and we're squeezing the shoulder blades together there. Breathe in forwards, pull, and you squeeze the shoulder blades. So with the weights, draw the shoulder blade back, pull, and squeeze. Breathe in forwards, pull, and squeeze the shoulder blades together. So like I say, whilst I'm explaining, carry on with the exercises. You can stop, start, because there's quite a lot it'll take a lot of time in explaining the technique. So if you were to go for the whole duration of me talking, you're gonna burn out at some point. So it's fine if you take a rest. You don't have to keep going for the whole duration of the demonstration, okay? So far, what we've done, we've worked on the breathing muscles. We've mobilized the muscle, the joints and the upper body. So we've done a breathing phase, we've done a mobility phase, and we've started with the strength exercises. We've done 2 for the upper body and 1 for the lower body. So we're gonna go back onto the legs now. So this is a balancing exercise. So I'll give you a couple of different options for this exercise. The option 1, you use the chair. So from a standing position, I'll also show you an option where you're actually sitting down doing it. So if you're not at a level yet, where you're comfortable doing the exercises standing up, there's an option for all, okay? So option 1, knees soft, core engaged, big deep breath in, breathe out, and we're going to lift the knee up nice and high. Keeping that nice upright posture, breathe in on the way down, breathe out on the way up. Breathe in on the way down, breathe out on the way up. And what I'm doing, I'm squeezing the buttock on this side. So this leg here is stabilizing the body as well as the core. Yeah, so draw the shoulder blades back, big deep breath in, breathe out, lift. I'll show you that from a side position. You can put both hands on the chair if you want. So you're squeezing the glutes, drawing the shoulder blades back, breathe in on the way down, breathe out on the way up. You might find you don't need the chair. So again, I go to repetition range. I would do 10 on each leg. No need to do any more than 2 to 3 sets. If you feel you're at a level where you don't need the chair, then this is what it looks like without the chair. I would do the repetitions slowly, because doing them slower puts a little bit more demand on the body. So standing nice and upright, shoulders back, big deep breath in, breathe out, lift, and we're squeezing the buttock on the stabilizing leg. So if I'm working the left leg, so the working leg, sorry, is the right leg, but the stabilizing leg is the left leg in this case. So a repetition range of no more than two sets of 10 on each side. Now, a little bit different if you're not at that level and you want to do it on the chair, you basically just lift your knee up off the floor like this. Slow on the way down, draw your shoulder blades back, keep your head up. Big deep breath in, breathe out, lift the knee nice and high. From a side position, sitting more to the edge of the chair with this one. Big deep breath in, breathe out, lifting that knee up nice and high. Shoulders back, head up, breathe in on the way down. And we breathe out on the way up. So again, if you've been completing the repetitions I've been demonstrating, you would have easily done a few sets of 10 on each side. So I'll give you a few seconds before we go on to the next exercise. And then we're just going to sit back down into the chair. We can do a release stretch, so it's more of a mobility exercise. Just loosen up in between. Let's keep the body nice and mobile, that's it. So we just rotate side to side. Again, a repetition range of 10 reps. And we move back onto the upper body. Okay, so the next exercise for the upper body, you don't really need any weights with this one. If you do use weights, I would use something really light. So for an example, I've got some candle holders there. I wouldn't really go any higher than 1 or 2 kilos for this exercise, because it's really targeted. But generally I do this exercise without using any weight whatsoever. So it's seated position. And these are called I, Y, T, and W. So for the postural muscles again. So from a seated position, again, you can do this standing if you want. The seated position, keep the head up, slightly engage the core muscles, which I'm going to talk about a little bit more in a second. So imagine just tensing the stomach muscles lightly. at 30% muscle contraction. Sit up nice and long in the spine. I like to put the thumbs like this. Take a big deep breath in. So this is the shape, this is the I. Breathe out and squeeze the shoulder blades together. Imagine pinching a pencil in between the shoulder blades together. I want you to do 10 repetitions. We take a big deep breath in, breathe out, and we squeeze the shoulder blades together there. Breathe in forwards, breathe out and squeeze. Breathe in forwards. So you notice the movement's actually quite small. So keep going, keep completing the repetitions. But from a side position, you can actually see the movement's really, really small. But again, if you have the shoulder position where you can't, if you have a shoulder injury or restriction, reduce range of mobility in the shoulder, so you can't lift the arm above head height, you literally just go from here. This is called an I. And like we spoke about before, where we just draw the shoulder blades into the back pockets, we keep the arms straight. So it's similar to doing the row, except you keep your arms straight. Pull back and squeeze. Breathe in, breathe out, pull back and squeeze. And you do 10 repetitions. Okay, 10 repetitions of each exercise. You can do more if you feel, if you feel strong enough and able. The next exercise is a Y. So breathe in, take the arms forward, breathe out. So it's the same action, but the arms are in a position of a Y. So you're still squeezing the shoulder blades together. It's still a repetition range of 10 reps. You can do 2 or 3 sets. It's a big deep breath in, breathe out, and we squeeze the shoulder blades together there. Again, if you are limited there with the shoulder, you can do what we call a T, which will be from here. Same action, always squeeze the shoulder blades together. It's a very small movement. Breathe in as you bring the arms forward, breathe out as you squeeze the shoulder blades together. And again, if that's too much, you can lower the arms and you can do it from this position. So what I'm trying to say, there's always an option for everybody. As long as you've got some shoulder mobility and strength, you're going to be fine. So it's a 10 repetition in the I range. If you've got limited shoulder mobility, it's from here to here. The Y range, if you've got limited shoulder mobility, you can do it below shoulder height. You're always looking to squeeze the shoulder blades together. So a T is the next exercise, which will be from there. Again, repetition range of 10 repetitions. So you can start while I'm demonstrating and explaining the exercise. We breathe in as you take the arms forward, get that nice long spine, tense the stomach muscles up, around about 30% muscle contraction. Thumbs back, breathe out, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Inhale, exhale, squeeze. Again, if you're limited with the range, you can just go that little bit lower. Remember, I always refer back to this, always work at your own mobility, at your own ability. Continue with the exercises whilst I'm talking. Obviously, if you need to have a rest, if you start to feel fatigue, take a rest and then just catch up as I'm demonstrating. Okay, and then we're just going to loosen the neck up in between. You can do these exercises in between all the sets. If you feel like you need a rest, but you feel like you can keep moving, you just need a rest from that certain exercise. You can do some neck mobility side to side. We can do some half moons, we call them, like we did at the beginning. We can do some flexions forwards and backwards, side to side. And I'll go into the last exercise, the fourth exercise of those, which is a W. So the shape of a W now, wrist joint lined up to the elbow, head nice and center. You take the elbows forward slightly, breathe in, breathe out, and squeeze the shoulder blades together. Core muscles engaged, around about 30% muscle contraction. Breathe in forwards, breathe out, squeeze. Breathe in forwards, breathe out and squeeze. Breathe in forwards, keep that nice, that body shape nice and upright. Inhale, exhale, squeeze. And if you're struggling with the mobility, you can literally go from here, which is a little bit different. It's the same exercise, more or less. You're trapping that pencil in between the shoulder blades. Inhale, you're looking for 10 repetitions. If you've started and you want to do more, it's quite an intense exercise this, without weights. You don't need any weights, if I'm honest, but if you're at a level where you want to add some weights, I've got some candle holders there. That'd be the Y, sorry, the I. Squeeze the shoulder blades, the Y, the T, and the W. Modified versions, I. So if you've got reduced shoulder mobility, that's how you do the I. Y, you do a T instead, or you could do it from here. The W would be here, or you could do it lower here. So it's an option for everybody. Okay, so we're actually going to go into the core muscles now. So we're going to work the abdominal muscles, and this is a rotational exercise. Now you don't have to use a weight. So what we're doing, when we talk about the core muscles, we're not looking to tense the stomach muscles up as hard as we can, because they would be using the superficial core muscles, which are the abdominal muscles you see on a cover model. So if we tense the muscles up as hard as we can only keep those engaged for a short period because there's higher demand on the muscles and they'll burn out quicker. If we hold them engaged with less muscular contraction, so less percentage of muscular contraction, we can hold them for longer. Okay, so the best way to get the idea of how to engage the deeper core muscles is to tense the stomach muscles as hard as you can at 100% muscle contraction. Then we're going to taper, we're going to lower that contraction, that percentage of muscle contraction, down to 90%, 80, 70, 60, 50, 40, and 30. So you can see the change in the tone of my voice. As I'm relaxing the muscles more and always slightly engaged, I'm able to talk with more ease, and I can still hold the core muscles engaged. The more I tense them up, the more superficial muscles you're going to engage, and you're not going to be able to hold them for as long. So 30% muscle contraction, muscles engaged, you should just slightly feel the core muscles contracted. We're going to rotate side to side. So working from the midsection, so not just rotating through the arms, I'm thinking about the core and breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. And again, if you find that position uncomfortable, you can have the arms lower. Inhale and exhale. If you want to make that exercise more intense, you can use a weight. You might find you need 2 weights. If your weights are quite light, you can use both, or if you're using bottles of water or tins of beans. So we breathe in, we breathe out. Again, looking for about 10 to 20 repetitions per set. It's up to you. But this is the technique. So if you keep completing the repetitions as I'm explaining, and I'll just keep doing little refreshers, how we do the exercise, core engaged, breathe in, and breathe out. If you don't want to use a weight, you might have candle holders. And although there's not a lot of weight there, it just gives you, it's a start, meaning you can progress. So you might find for the first few sessions you're using no weight, and then you might find you need to progress onto something. That's where you can use bottles of water, tins of beans, and then eventually get yourself some weight. So looking for 10 to 20 repetitions per time, 30 maximum, and then have a rest. And a nice release stretch for that is a stretch up and over like this in the chair. So I'm stretching nice and long through the lat muscles, the muscles of the back, and then you'll feel that in the lower back a little bit as well. Just a nice release stretch, release exercise in between the strengthening exercises. So next one is another shoulder exercise, and this is the lateral raise. So I'll show you without the weights first. Seated position, but you can also do this standing up. So arms down by the side, shoulders back, head up. So if you want to start with me, big deep breath in, breathe out. and we're abducting from, it's a lateral movement. So we're using the muscles on the outside of the shoulder and the upper back. Keep that position. Engage the core muscles at 30% muscle contraction. Big deep breath in. Breathe out. Breathe in on the way down. Breathe out on the way up. Use the tempo of 1 second on the way up, 2 seconds on the way down. Breathe in and breathe out up to shoulder height. So I'll show you now with the weights. And again, you can do this seated or standing up. So from the chair, big deep breath in. Breathe out, lift. Breathe in on the way down. And like I say, keep completing the repetitions as I'm demonstrating. Inhale deep. Exhale, lift. It's all about the control, especially as you're lowering the weight. So if I want to do that from standing position, I'll take a big deep breath in, the knees are soft. Breathe out, lift. You breathe in on the way down. Breathe out on the way up. So during the class, I always allow 60 to 90 seconds per set, sometimes longer, depending on how long it takes for everybody to get the technique right and how long it takes for me to demonstrate and explain the exercises. So everything's explained in the classes, and I'm always watching everybody's technique as well. So always an alternative for everybody. So with the alternative for that exercise with restricted shoulder mobility, obviously don't use a weight, or use something lighter like the tins of beans or your bottle of water, and don't go up as high. Or you can come to the front there, or if you are completely restricted and you find any movements like that aggravate the shoulder, then I would bring you on to the next exercise, which would be a bicep curl, which you could substitute instead of the lat raise. They are using different muscle groups. We call this a closer chain exercise, meaning it's easier to perform, okay? So elbows tight to the body. I'm going to again show you without the weight. Imagine you've got a weight, so if you're using your tins of beans or your bottle of waters or whatever weight you're using, that's fine. So upper arm fixed. Big deep breath in. We're going to grip either the weight or just pretend you've got a weight. You're going to pull and you're going to squeeze the bicep at the top. Breathe in on the way down. Think about the 30% muscle contraction of the core, and we breathe out there, squeeze. Breathe in on the way down, out on the way up. Again, you can do that standing up. I'll show you that with the weight from a seated position. So palms are facing me. It's a big deep breath in. Breathe out, squeeze. We breathe in, control on the way down, keeping that back straight and that core engaged. Breathe out on the way up. Think of a 2 second tempo on the way down and a 1 second tempo on the way up. So if I'm doing that without the weight, if I'm doing that standing up with a weight, I'm there. Knees soft, big deep breath in, breathe out, control. So the upper arm stays fixed. So I'm not bringing the elbow away from the body. I'm keeping everything nice and tight to the body, so I'm more compact. And like I say, it's a nice close chain exercise. So 10 to 20 repetitions per set. Like I say, keep doing the exercises as I'm demonstrating. I'll give you a little bit more time. Big deep breath in, breathe out, curl and squeeze, breathe in on the way down, keep that body position, keep that core engaged, 30% muscle contraction, and relax. And we'll do some more neck mobility. You can never do enough of this, especially the nature of our jobs. We tend to sit a lot and we get that rounded shoulders, so it's nice to release the neck muscles. Breathe in deep, breathe out. You go side to side there. You can stretch. Good. Okay, so we're going to get work exercise in now for the triceps, or for the backs of the arms. I'm just going to come a little bit closer to the screen to show you this one. So I'm going to use the candle holders first. So again, you can do this from the seated position, standing or on your knees, wherever you feel comfortable. So you get your elbows tight to your body. You're going to lift your arms up like this. You can see there, the elbows are nice and tight, nice and close together, and then just fully extend the arm. That way we're working the muscles of the tricep. So if I do it from the side, we take the arms up, we bend at the elbow, big deep breath in, breathe out, we fully extend the arm. Inhale, exhale. Again, of course, you can do that without a weight. So like I say, just continue with the repetitions if you can at this level whilst I'm explaining, but I am going to give an option for restricted shoulder mobility as well. So with a weight, this is what it'll look like. Elbows tight to the body, breathe in, breathe out, extend. If you've got the restricted mobility, a better way to work the tricep would be what we call a kickback, like this. Yeah, so again, you can do that from a seated position. So you've got the light weights or zero weights, if that's what you want to do. You dip the chest forward slightly, bend the elbow, and we kick back like this. So the upper arm stays fixed. So I'll show you from a side position. So from a seated position there, from the side, you just double over slightly. So just lean forward slightly. Upper arm's fixed, and then we just, upper arm is fixed. We bend at the elbow, then we extend. Bend, and we extend. That's if you've got limited range. And obviously you can do that with the weight as well. Just continue with the other option if that's the one you've chosen. Work at 10 to 20 repetition range, and then have a rest in between each set. Obviously the weight, it's there, double over slightly. Breathe in as we bend at the elbow, breathe out as we extend the arm. And that's called an overhead tricep extension, and a tricep kickback is the other option. So what we've covered today so far in the class, I hope you've been able to keep up. This is just a demonstration of what we do on the weekly class. The only difference you get in the class is I'm able to correct the technique more because I can see you. I'm going to make sure that you're choosing the right exercise for your ability. So we've worked on breathing, we've worked on mobility, we've worked on posture, core strength, and we've also worked on leg strength and balance as well. So a full body workout. This is what we've done, which you can do daily, once every other day, again, depending on your ability. And that's the video coming to an end now. But before we come to an end, I'm going to do a cool down. So this just helps relax the body, okay? After all the strenuous exercises. So literally all we're going to do is going to fall back into the chair. So we're nice and relaxed. And we're actually going to tense all the muscles up of the body at the same time. So we're going to tense the muscles up of the feet, then the calves, the thighs, the stomach muscles, the chest, the arms, the shoulders. We make fists with the hands. So all the muscles of the body are engaged at the same time, and then we just let go. We just let the body just drop. So there's no energy in the body. We're completely relaxed. This time we're going to go from the fists, the chest, the core, squeeze the buttocks, the thighs. You can extend the legs if you want, so all the muscles are engaged. And then you just switch off, relax. Then right back to the beginning. So I like to lie down and do this. You can do it sat in the chair or lying up down on the bed or where on the floor, or you can stay in the chair. You want to be as relaxed as possible. So you're solely focusing on the breathing muscles. So palms underneath the rib cage. I like to bring the fingertips together. And when I breathe in, I take the fingertips apart. And then when I breathe out, I bring the fingertips together. So it's a big deep breath in, expanding at the rib cage. And we breathe out. Breathe in deep. And we breathe out. We breathe in deep. Just trying to put all thoughts out the mind. We just keep breathing Big deep breaths in, breathe out, trying to relax the whole body. And that's the session over. So thanks for watching today, and we hope to see you at the class soon.